Greetings, my fellow Retrotopians, and welcome to episode 145 of the Retrotopia podcast, and we are talking Resistance: Fall of Man for the PlayStation 3. This is Sam here for the intro, and before we begin, please, if you could, rate us 5 stars and leave a comment. Also, check out our link tree. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. I think I said that right. You can find links to our social media pages. You can find retrotopia.dashery.com is on the link tree. It's also in the description of the podcast. You can get some cool t-shirts and stuff designed by Joe Fettuccini, and I think Brian did some too. You know, we all chip in here. I just am an ideas man, so I don't know how it works. I just say things and then they end up on the t-shirt page, and that's cool. Also, you can find a link to our Patreon. You can join for free. And what do you get for free? You can take part in polls. You can chat with the hosts. That's us. You can write in about the game of the week. This week is Resistance. You can write into the host for the 9-bit banter box, which is coming up here shortly. You get Quick Play you can listen to, which is our short game review series. You get Retro Bites 15 days early with an extra topic. But for just $2 US per month, if you join at the Hero tier, you get all of that I just mentioned, as well as being able to select a game for us to review on Quick Play. You get New Game Plus, which is our new game review show. I just did Pokopia a few weeks ago, and I'm working on Mina the Hollower. I probably said that last time, but I'm busy and also a terrible procrastinator. And you get a shout out. We don't have any shout-outs this week, so hopefully this entices you to join if you're listening and you're not part of our Patreon Hero tier, and then you can get shouted out. I'll shout it. I'll shout it from the rooftop. And also, just wanted to mention Retro Salvage Games, the official retro game shop of Retrotopia. I've made a couple orders, and I'm a very happy customer. We have several very happy customers in our Discord as well. He's got real reasonable prices, great selection, and more are added all the time. I recently got a copy of Power Rangers for the Super Nintendo and Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, and I've had a great time so far taking those for a test drive over this past weekend. So, yeah, that's a new place for me to go after payday is Retro Salvage Games, so check them out. All right. Let's get things started with our general questions and comments section, the culturally elegant 9-bit banter box. All right, our first question comes from Blobby, who says, Nagchampa or Patchouli? And my initial thought is, not gonna lie, I have no strong opinions either way, because I couldn't tell you what the hell those are, but in true fashion, I looked it up, and those are incense. Now you're talking my language. I just picked the ones that smell nice generally, but I'm pretty sure every dispensary you walk in smells like either Nagchampa or Patchouli. You know, like the real old-fashioned like head shop ones. Definitely, I'm gonna say Nagchampa based on the description of what they smell like, but yeah, I could probably go either way. Munchie says, Mr. Sam, out of curiosity, if you could revive a dead gaming franchise, what would it be, and would you make any significant changes to it? For me, I'd love to see a return of Gex. But if you like Mario Odyssey and instead... like Mario Odyssey and instead of Worlds... I can't read. It's different movies, thus changing the genre of the levels. That's fucking cool. Gex is a great call. I love that game. I think I recently, within the last couple months, picked up Gex, Enter the Gecko for the 64. I played that as a kid, as a rental. I think I rented it a couple times. Did not understand any of the references, but I had a good time with it. Well, Resistance would be a good answer, because this is a dead franchise. But I'm going to say Advance Wars. We haven't had a game in that series since the 3DS, I want to say. And maybe we won't ever get a new Advance Wars game due to, I guess, concerns about cartoonish depictions of war, which is kind of silly because realistic war. Yeah, whatever. Let's give us all the realistic war you want. But as soon as you make it like cartoony and just focus on the strategy, then it's like, oh, it's insensitive to whatever. Anyways, I hope Advance Wars comes back. They did the reboot camp on the Switch, and I think it sold pretty well. Maybe, I don't know, but that is a good one. And I hope that they come out with something. I mean, there's a lot of strategy games out there, but man, Advance Wars is a good one. My previous answer was Star Fox, and look what happened. So I'm gonna put Resistance. I almost said. Yeah, we'll throw Resistance and Advance Wars out there and see if anything happens. I'll speak it into existence. Philip My Mouth with Farts says, "Hi Sam, they say that when you're buying snacks for a long road trip, it should be like giving a 9-year-old $100 and told to get snacks. So, you're given $100 to go crazy getting snacks for a road trip. What are you buying?" One thing that I only eat on a road trip is corn nuts. So I'm gonna get some corn nuts. It's weird. It's like I've never gotten corn nuts anywhere but a gas station. So get a bunch of those. Some red vine licorice, the kind that comes in like the plastic tub. Combos, Bugles, Mountain Dew, or I would say Arizona sweet tea, because you can get like a ton of those tall boy cans for like, I think they were more than $1 now, but for the longest time they were $1. Yeah, that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. Maybe some Skittles. All right. Mercury869 says, "Hey Sam, just curious on if you or any of the guys plan on giving some racing games some love." Absolutely yes. I'd love to do some more quick plays on racing games if I can ever get around to playing more games for quick plays, but we've covered Rock and Roll Racing, Micro Machines, Mario Kart, Ridge Racer 64, F-Zero, and Diddy Kong Racing. I don't know if I'm missing any. That's just off the top of my head, but at some point I'd like to tie Brian to a chair and force him to play Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, because that was one of my favorite games on the 64. But I love racing games, and I'd love to find a way to play Need for Speed or Project Gotham, because I've heard good things about those games, but I don't know if I have any way to play those. I'd have to see. If they're on Steam, then game on. But Gran Turismo also would be cool, 1 or 2. But I definitely try to make sure to advocate for some racing games every now and then. All right, Philip My Mouth with Farts. Again, you put a second one in, it's quick, so I'm going to read it. You guys are always plugging your Linktree page, so I got to ask what everyone else is thinking. When are you releasing the Retrotopia OnlyFans content? We await your announcement. I don't know, but I will say I've considered making an OnlyFans account for my dog's toe beans. Put those hounds to work. All right, Retro Salvage Game says, NBA Sam, me and you are having a date night this weekend. Ooh, where are we going? Chinese, Mexican? I myself could go for a massive plate of sushi with a side of hibachi. First of all, NBA Sam is top notch. From downtown. Second off, sushi being fed through a hole in the wall. No, that's gonna be stuck in my head. Some of my favorite local places here are just kind of family-owned Mexican places, so any of those would be fine, but I haven't had sushi in a bit, so I'd say sushi, but let's throw on the caveat that our date is actually a trip to Japan, and we're just gonna eat tons of sushi and check out all the cool shit that they have in Japan.
If you're looking to level up your retro game collection, we've got just the place for you. Head on over to RetroSalvageGames.com, the official retro game store of Retrotopia. Whether you're chasing down a childhood favorite, hunting the elusive cartridge, or just looking to grow your collection, Retro Salvage Games has something for every retro gamer. And because you're listening to Retrotopia, you can get 10% off your entire order. Just use the promo code JammyDodger at checkout. That's JammyDodger for 10% off everything at RetroSalvageGames.com. Great games, great prices, and now an even better deal. Go check them out today.
All right. Now it's time for our game of the week. Choose one, lose one.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll up and choose your power-up from the game of the week. You pick a power, we pick a consequence. It's choose one, lose one, the game where everyone's a loser.
All right, our first choose one, lose one entry comes from Blobby, who says, "Can I have one resistance, please?" No. Get it? I resisted. Munchie says, "How about a modern remake that's cross-platform?" Sure, but in true modern fashion, it's free to play, loaded with microtransactions, and within 6 months they shut it down. Let's be honest, that's probably what would happen if we're all wishing for this Resistance remake or like a revival of the franchise, but it probably would be some shitty online-only game that would get shut down. Oh, man. Let's see. Fill up my mouth with farts says, "I want to be an ally of the aliens, be the one with the power." Well, that makes you not the main character and therefore highly susceptible to getting absolutely wiped out by a one-man army. So, best of luck to you. Retro Salvage Games says, "I choose to be the fall of man." Okay, but it's lonely at the top. Enjoy being Taco Bell lettuce. All right, thanks for playing, everybody. Let's turn it over to Alan for this week's Gentleman's Interlude.
Resistance Fallen Man landed as the PlayStation 3's flagship shooter. Put together by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. Funny old business, really. The Japanese got hold of it on 11th November 2006, the Americans a week later on the 17th, and we had to cool our heels until 23rd March 2007. Typical. Even when it's only a video game, Britain ends up waiting while the Yanks get served first. The story is set in an alternate 1951, where the Chimera have chewed their way across Europe and Britain's what's left standing. That's where I come in. Or should, if anyone bothered remembering the rest of us. We'd been freezing in foxholes, scraping together ammunition and watching mates disappear into the fog long before Sergeant Nathan Hale arrived with his square jaw and heroic timing. Then the Americans show up and suddenly every victory's got stars and stripes draped over it. Don't misunderstand me, Hale weren't useless. The man was an absolute menace to the Chimera, charging into places sensible soldiers avoided, and somehow walking back out again. If he'd had that sort of luck in the lottery, he'd have been a millionaire. Truth be told, without him and the American reinforcements, we'd likely have been finished. Doesn't mean I have to enjoy hearing people tell it, as though Britain had been sat about waiting for a colonial miracle. So yes, Insomniac built an excellent shooter, and gave Sony a proper reason to own a PlayStation 3. Just remember that before the celebrated American hero started saving the day, there were exhausted British soldiers holding the line with worn rifles, cold tea, and a thoroughly justified resentment. We softened the enemy up. The Yanks got the applause. Same story as ever.
All right, thanks, Alan. And now let's get to some comments on Resistance Fall of Man. We actually have quite a few. Actually, I think this might be the first week I've ever had more comments on the game than Choose One, Lose One. And granted, Choose One, Lose One isn't the easiest for a shooter, but a lot of you had some things to say about Resistance, so this is cool. Let's go for it. Hooli says, "I haven't played this in like 20 years, so I don't remember much besides it being very okay. Not bad, but nothing special. A failed attempt to compete with Halo and Gears, I think. And most definitely has those bland colors that many games from that generation have." Yeah, not bad points there. Munchie says, "This is one of those games that made me wish I had a PlayStation to play it on. However, Halo made it feel better." Yeah, for sure. I did nothing wrong, said, "I didn't think anyone else had played this underrated gem. I grew up playing this game, but for whatever reason, only ever played the first few missions several times." Now, I read this at first as you only played the first mission several times, and holy fuck, that sounds terrible. And I get it. Like, The first mission is fucking terrible, and we talk about it. Randy from the Read Watch Play podcast says, my best friend growing up owned the PS3 while I went 360 that generation. One of the first games he had was Resistance. It was one of those magical times that all gamers can relate to, where you play a new console and you have that feeling that you are experiencing the future. At the time, the graphics looked great. The story felt like it had art direction. There was gun variety and a combat system with responsive controls that were a step up from my beloved PS2. While the details of this game are a bit fuzzy, I remember the co-op experience being really enjoyable, almost better than playing through solo. However, the main character is so unmemorable that at this point I could not tell you their name or what they look like, or what we were even trying to accomplish in this game. It was an exciting first step for the PS3 generation, but ultimately is a somewhat forgotten title lacking a legacy. I still have warm feelings toward it and would be happy to see this franchise return. Well said. Yeah, the main character, we talk about his lack of anything. He is just a gray blob of a person, and his name was Nathan Hale. But that's about it. He is, he's the color gray personified. All right, Retro Salvage Games says, never even heard of this one, but give it to me straight, Doc. Tell me how you really feel. Well, first of all, stock it in your store. 2 and 3, please. I would like to purchase them. But anyways, we will tell you how we feel. Released in 2006 and developed by Insomniac, published by Sony Computer Entertainment, only ever released on the PlayStation 3. This is Resistance. Let's talk about it. Speaking of being carried, we're here this week to talk about Resistance, Fall of Man for the PS3. And I'm not alone. I'm Sam. Along with me are my two allies who are soon to be overcome by Chimera and threat. Alan and Brian, how are you guys?
I love how you opened it with something that people who don't subscribe to the Patreon will never understand.
Well, guess what? That means you should subscribe to the Patreon. It's free.
Absolutely.
And you get to listen to the After Dark.
What the fuck is this
There's
guy
your
on
plug.
about, eh?
Yeah. Well, well, I do all the work and you guys get overcome by Chimerans and yell at me for not being to the checkpoint on time. Hey, that sounds kind of like
I'm doing
well, not really.
I gotta admit, I'm doing better than most of the British guys in this game do. Because this is a real like Britain's fucked. Here come the Americans to save the day.
We'll get into all the geopolitical wankery that's going on here. The threat from Russia. It's just like, man, when did this come out? 2007. Like that's like 20 almost 20 years past the Cold War. What are we still doing with Cold War bullshit? It's like, come on. It is quite literally the Cold War, because the Russians are these mutants that come and take over and turn everything cold.
Well, yeah, but because it takes place in an alternate timeline in the 1950s, yes. That's why the Russians are the bad guys, and we always love to have the Russians as the bad guys.
Yeah.
And if you're listening and you are from Russia, we don't mean you.
No,
yeah, you're fine there. Go have some vodka.
If this came out in Russia, like I always think about that. Like Russians are always the bad guys in our media, and
why do I kill bad guys, or why do I kill good guys? Good guys, they're Chimera, they're good. Yeah, that's my worst Russian accent.
Excellent accent, by the way.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Moving swiftly on though.
So Resistance, Fall of Man. I had never heard of this game until Brian brought it to my attention.
This is a fucking Halo killer.
Yeah, years ago you brought this to like right at the beginning of when we started podcasting. I think you played this game, if I'm not mistaken. You didn't play it when it came out, did you?
No, I played it when it came out. I got the PS3 on launch day, and this was the first game I picked up for it.
Oh well, I stand corrected. That's Brian's history.
Yeah. I've played this game about once or twice through, back when I could adapt to the let's call it the ancient style of first-person controls. But it took me a little bit, and then I realized I could swap the controls or the buttons on the controller and bring down that sensitivity to damn near nothing so that I could actually aim.
It did take some getting used to. I didn't actually end up changing any controls or any settings, but it just like At first, it was just like spraying bullets all over the place, like
Oh,
nah.
it's Cyril from
Empty a clip and
Archer.
yeah,
Covering fire.
exactly. Yes. what What about you, Alan? Have you played this game before?
So I never actually had a PS3 back in the day, and it's only within the last couple of years that I picked one up. But I've had this game. I've had all three of these games, in fact, on my shelf for years now. Because I like me a good first-person shooter, and once I'd seen Insomniac on basically anything, like I'm
Oh, yeah.
pretty much picking that up because Insomniac are pretty much batting 1,000 at this point. And I've just been dying for an excuse to play this. And I dabbled very, very briefly. You know what it's like when you get a game and you're just like, all right, well, let me just chuck it on for a bit and see, what the flavor of it is. And then it's like, I'll get back to that eventually. And that was years ago. So now I'm very, very pleased that I got the chance to actually pop it in and take my time with it.
There we
Well,
go.
as much time as the podcast will allow.
And I was looking, I've not played very many Insomniac games, but looking at their portfolio, they've got Spyro, Ratchet and Clank,
Oh,
the Spider-Man games from 2018 to present. God
I'm
damn.
such a diehard Ratchet.
Oh,
and Clank
they
fan.
are a quintessential Sony studio.
Yeah.
They are absolutely synonymous with banger.
It's
after
them and
that.
Santa Monica, I reckon.
Well, and didn't Insomniac have at least some responsibility for some of the Tony Hawk games as well? Because isn't that why they had like Wolverine and Spider-Man and
They might have, yeah. I don't know. You'd have to read their wiki.
See, I don't know if that was that or that was Neversoft.
Neversoft. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yep. Nah, I don't know. Don't listen to me. I don't know. Yeah. So do we want to get into we talked a little bit about the story. So I actually went and grabbed my manual so we could do this a la Retro Hangover and actually read through the manual because I was like relishing the fact that I actually have a physical copy of the game and the manual, which is very rare these days. So would you like to? It's a pretty brief little blurb. Would you like to hear it?
Please.
Nah.
All right. Okay. Well, fuck you then. Now I'm not going to read it. All right. Here's the brief introduction here. The Chimeran threat began in Russia. The origin of the virus is unknown, but its effects were devastating and swift. In the 1930s, reports of biological experiments began leaking out of Russia, then reports of villages destroyed overnight, then entire cities. We feared the Russians had developed a weapon of unparalleled power. The truth was far worse. The Chimera stayed sealed within Russia for over a decade. Then, in 1949, they launched an attack that overwhelmed all of Europe in a matter of weeks. For several months, we thought England was safe, but in October of 1950, the Chimera burrowed under the channel we had prepared. Burrowed under the channel. Full stop. We had prepared for them. That is such. Sorry, I was reading that as if the British had prepared a tunnel under the channel for them.
That came much later.
Yes, that's what the channel is for. All right. Anyways, we had prepared for them, but in 3 months' time, the war was lost. We abandoned the cities to the Chimera and retreated to scattered military bases and outposts. The Chimera had won. On July the 11th, 1951, the Americans launched an assault on the eastern coast of England. Here we go. We fade in the national anthem. On the second wave of that assault was a sergeant named Nathan Hale. The actions of that ranger have become a matter of both scrutiny and myth. What follows are the known events of his life from July 11th to July the 14th, the day he was last seen. So,
see, that's cool. And I'm not going to say that I understand. It's going to sound stupid because it is an incredibly simple story.
Oh, so simple.
But there is a lot that's left kind of unsaid and underdeveloped. Like, I mean, what are the Chimera? Where did they come from? Are they aliens? Are they just a biological thing? I don't really feel like you get answers on that front. But
No,
you know,
not really.
You do throughout the game. They kind of explain it, but you're not going to put it in the game manuals. Like, oh, by the way, at the end of the game, you're going to go do this, and blam, that's going to
Yeah.
blow up. And next thing, this is what happens to Nathan Hale.
no, I
He gets
get
movie
that.
rights. He gets movie rights, and he lives in Hollywood.
But I'm beyond the blurb in the manual right now. I'm talking about the story as a whole, Brian.
Oh, really? Because I caught the whole what happened or where the Chimera came from the story. Alan.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm just dense, but I think there was a lot. It's a great story in so much as it tells me everything I need to know. Like, here are some monsters, here are some guns. Have at it. The British
Yep.
are useless, apparently, but
That's historically accurate.
well,
I don't need an excuse to shoot some mutants. You know,
no,
not
exactly.
actual
Just remember
mutants,
that
but,
this
you
takes
know.
place at a time where Canada was very allied with Britain, and we'd be there with you guys at the beginning, and we're not even mentioned or even glossed over. So I get to be a little bit snotty about this. All right.
Yeah,
Well.
right. No, fuck you guys. You're not even part of this. It's that meme. It's that meme with Seamus from Family Guy. He's like, no, not you.
Just left us to our own devices, didn't you,
Yeah.
Brian? You bastard.
Pretty much. We were at home eating our poutine.
Yes. Oh,
It's like, oh, that sucks, eh?
Oh, buddy, they're gonna fuck you up, huh?
Well, the weird thing about this is like, yeah, it's this virus that I guess mutates them into mutant creatures, and there's these weird little bugs, and
But
basically
they're-
it's just a vehicle to create basically gnarly looking alien creatures to fight and a bunch of bugs to fuck with and all that.
yeah.
works for me.
And I'm
But
not
it's
kidding. Like when this came out, I remember the advertising campaigns and all the magazines and the hype squad. Like they literally called this the Halo killer, and this was supposed to go toe to toe with Halo. And obviously, we know who won that battle.
Yeah,
But
Halo
that's
Killer, this
kind
does
of
not.
yeah, it's kind of why they went in this sort of alien direction, because it was kind of like what Halo was doing. And you know how many times series on the PlayStation has tried, like, had the media try to call it a Halo killer and failed. This was just their first kick at the cat.
I mean,
Mhm.
I suppose, like, did it fail? I mean, I suppose in sales, almost certainly. Like, there's no denying that Halo was the bigger game, was the bigger franchise. But I don't think it's for a lack of trying, because like, I really thought this game was very, very good. And you know, hearing it called a Halo killer, I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I could see it taking a fair swing at that.
I'm going to come out and say this right now. This game looks better than Halo did.
Oh, looks wise, all day long,
Mhm. Yeah.
all day.
Just
Um,
graphically, and then some of the physics inside of the game themselves, like things you can break or knock over or blow up. I mean, it was amazing. But then you had parts of it that were like you're driving around that Jeep with the guy in the back gunning, and it's just like, okay, yeah, that's a warthog.
Pure
what is that
warthog.
fucker shooting at, by the way? Like,
Oh, nothing.
He's not hitting. He's just blasting.
Yeah,
and
he
nothing.
come from the school of stormtroopers.
Exactly. He's like, oh, yeah, no problem. Get out and finish off every single fucking mutant in this tower. I'm just gonna.
I
shoot
killed
into the
more
air.
people driving over them than he did
Oh,
with
yeah.
a fucking machine gun.
That was
Yeah.
so satisfying, though.
It was fun though.
Like, that is about some of the most fun that I had in the entire game, and I was enjoying. I enjoyed basically every facet of this game, but just blasting around a field, running Chimera over, was just so satisfying. It controlled
And there were
so well.
I did get the Jeep stuck one time, and I had to kill myself to start over.
Oh,
to
you
get
kind of
to-
have
back
to.
to
That's
the
a rite of
checkpoint.
passage.
Yeah, but
Well,
yeah, it was kind of cool to be able, because with the Jeep, at least, which is kind of weird, it was basically indestructible. You could run over or crash into anything, and there were really no I guess like consequences for that. Like the tank had a life meter, but the Jeep, you could be
oh
shot.
yeah, that Jeep
no
was
matter- yeah.
untouchable. I would have rather taken the Jeep into the final fights rather than the tank.
No,
Sure.
I needed the tank's gun for sure, because
Oh, yeah.
if you take that Jeep in there, like, yeah, maybe you can crash into stuff, but that guy's missing everything.
Now, Alan said he enjoyed every facet of this game. There's actually one part of the game I didn't really enjoy that I had to push through, and that was literally the very beginning.
Oh, God damn
Yeah,
it.
because that was a
I had a
slog.
meltdown. I
Yeah.
had a meltdown. It's
It
like,
was
Brian, I
brutal.
don't think I can play this game. I'm tapping out. I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? And now that I've had time to think about it and reflect, so the first level you're going through and you are just Nathan Hale, regular human bartender.
Taxpayer.
Right.
Regular human bartender.
from Tucson, Arizona.
Arizona.
And you basically don't have any powers, any ability to heal, but these Chimera are just like fucking your shit up.
Oh,
And
that
I died
pissed me
more
off.
times. I died more times in that opening level than at any other point in the game. And it's only because you don't have your Chimera powers. And I'm thinking about it, and it's like, for as frustrating as that was, looking back at it, it's like, yeah, that's kind of realistic. You would really have a hard time if you didn't have Chimera powers. And it's kind of showing you that, like, hey, this is how this guy started out. He's just a regular schlub, and then ends up getting bugs down his throat, and now he can do anything, and everyone can just sit back while he
and
saves the day.
That's what was getting me about that beginning part, is I had completely forgotten about it, and I kept running back looking like I couldn't remember how to heal. So I'm hitting every button on the controller trying to figure out if there's heal packs or something like that, and I kept getting fucked up. And then of course I was having problems aiming because the controller starts off way too sensitive for what I like to play as. And this is one of my big gripes with first person shooters on the PlayStation 3 is I don't feel like the controller was really the best controller to play first person shooters with. I mean, like the Xbox 360 controller was spot on.
That's
This
a better
one,
controller.
yeah,
There's no denying it.
It always felt like loose, and every first person shooter game felt like you couldn't lock onto something. I think it had something to do with the like some first person shooters will kind of have an auto aim when you're close. It'll adjust a little bit just to get so you aim at the center of mass. And this doesn't have that. So you're like basically using a mouse with a joystick, and that to me is frustrating. And even after I finally got past that part and I could heal again, it took me a little while to remember to go look at the options and see if I could adjust the controls. And when I did, then I had to reteach myself because I taught myself the old controls. And then I started, when you have to look at a controller to see what button you have to push? Yeah. I felt like I was 5 again.
Oh man. Like it does drop you right into the thick of it right from the off. And you know what? That kind of makes sense because, whatever. It starts off in York, and that's up north, and they're all very tough up north. So you're gonna have a bad time up there. But I had to teach myself that I wasn't playing Doom. That was my main problem with that first area, because I'm just like, I see they kind of look like demons, and my brain just has this trigger. It's just like, well, I'm playing a Doom game, so I'm just going to run and gun.
Run right in there and fire.
Yeah, this game will just hand you your ass because, as far as like enemy AI and stuff like that goes, they're not dumb. Like they'll find cover.
They're not smart either.
They'll flank you though, and they will sort of use tactics.
Here's the thing about the AI that got me though. Yeah, they do this thing where they do the sidestep as you're shooting at them that pissed me off.
Bullshit.
Yeah. But if they did not notice you, or like you could run up to them, if you were outside their field of view, you could just walk close to them and shoot them in the head. Like they had to physically either see you or hear you in order to advance towards you. And there was many times, especially inside of some of the tunnels, where I'd walk in a room and there'd be a guy standing there with his back to me and be like, oh shit. And then I, spray and pray, and the entire horde would come out at me. But it was funny. Or when you had the sniper rifle and they're just kind of standing there waiting to be shot.
Oh, I love that sniper rifle.
Something that I thought was, I guess, probably a little bit more, I don't want to call it realistic, because I mean, this is not a realistic plot point. Like we've never fought aliens or whatever, but like from a weapons,
you haven't.
You're right. Well, purely from like a weapons perspective, and I'm not an expert on guns, but I know that not every bullet will go directly to the center of the crosshair. Like if you're if you draw a straight line from the barrel of your gun straight out, not every single bullet is going right there. It's going to like, a radius. There's a pattern,
There's a
right? Like,
spread, yeah.
yeah, and I think that the game kind of did that. Like the further you got away with the gosh, whatever your kind of main rifle was, like there was a little bit of, I guess, area that you had to work with. And even with they called it the bullseye or whatever, like that, those bullets went fucking
I
everywhere.
love that fucking gun.
That gun was good up close, but like every gun did something really well, but was
Mhm.
terrible at something else. Like the bullseye sucked from a distance, but was really good if you're like panic shooting up close with a bunch of
Oh
enemies. The
yeah,
shotgun was obviously good for those little crawly ones where you could just plaster a bunch of them. Uh, the carbon was good for medium distance. If you zoomed in and you didn't actually
yep,
like burst shot and just single shot, you could get almost a very precise shot on them. Uh,
yep,
I could go on, but I'm just going to end up naming all the weapons.
Do you know what I
yeah,
liked about the guns, though? And this kind of ties into what you were saying about the enemies and their sidestepping and all of that bullshit. Because yeah, the enemies would dodge your fire, and it could be hard to pin them down. But I found that just about every gun had so many bullets in a single clip that you really could just like spray, pray, and adjust. And
Except the auger.
yeah,
yeah, and
well, I mean
except and
that's true. But then who's using the auger like?
I
When I
used it.
had bullets, I was using it all the time because it came with
I
that
liked
fucking
that gun.
shield.
I don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
that shield was cool
I
too.
loved the auger, but it was never my go-to weapon. It was always just
No,
like,
Oh
right,
no,
I'm saving that for when like I absolutely have,
you
yeah, I
only
preferably
had to.
when
use
there are
that
other
when
auger
you
guys.
yeah, you only use the auger when you take out a bunch of the big Chimera there that have the augers, and you can refill your ammo
Exactly,
because you
Yep.
did not find a lot of ammo on that one.
No,
exactly.
those dudes. Yeah, those dudes or the those like weird I guess like four-legged creatures that are, you could either only kill them with a shotgun or the auger. Um, what else would I use it for? Those kind of um walker type things. Like if I was out of any sort of like explosive, then I would flip to the auger first because it packed a little bit more of a punch.
I always just found it so useful if you were literally just pinned down. You're just like, well, all I need to do is put the crosshairs somewhere on this wall, and if it turns red, you're getting both barrels. And
Mm-hmm.
that, I mean, I know we're all over the place here, but fuck it, we're talking about guns now. I mean, that single weapon, the auger, is such an interesting design choice for a game because usually, by and large, in games like this, you get into cover and you are good. You can sit there and you can just hang tight and work out your next strategy. But when
Yep.
you're up against those guys with augers, that advantage is completely taken away because if you don't know, this weapon is something that can literally shoot through walls. You can use it and the enemies can use it. So I'd just be like, okay, I'm in a firefight. I'm going to hunker down behind this wall. And all of a sudden, you see that pattern start appearing on the wall and the bullets start to come through. And you're just like, ah, shit, now I've got to move. And it's such a good
Yeah.
way of keeping the pace moving and having you sort of having to make these snap decisions on
What
your
was
feet. I just found
nice,
that really interesting.
yeah, what was nice about the auger though is if you aimed at a wall and there was somebody standing behind it, it would actually turn the reticule red, and you could just shoot through the
Yeah.
wall at the guy. It was kind of a neat little thing to use to not get ambushed all the time. But fuck me, did I get ambushed all the time?
Oh, God, yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
I would kind of panic when I saw those. They would kind of like look like glowing orbs, and then they would just hang for a second and then shoot like beams out of them. The auger
Yeah.
when you were getting shot with it, and I would just kind of panic. And it was like they were really good at like it was a good tactic to get me personally to get flushed out, and like then I'd be out in the open, and there's like not only this dude with the auger, but there's like a bunch of just like grunts there too, and it's like fuck.
It was
I
just a
hated,
really good way of just keeping you moving and keeping you like engaged in the fight.
yeah,
Right, you had to switch your tactics up.
the only thing I really disliked about the weapons is the fact that you didn't get them all by the midpoint of the game. You're still getting like the Bullseye Mark II at the last level of the game. And I really wish games wouldn't do that. Like, give me the weapons systematically through the first half of the game. That way, the
Mhm.
second half, I get to play around with them.
Ah, see, no, I've got to disagree. I mean, I can understand getting the majority of them early on, but having a little bit something extra in the end game just is like it's a nice little perk. It's like, oh,
Well,
suddenly I thought I had everything I was going to get, and now I've got something new. Especially like because that
yeah.
Bullseye Mark II was pretty fucking savage.
Well,
Oh,
if you
man, I
want
never
more
got to it.
weapons, play it a second time because you get actual extra weapons like the Reaper, the Arc Charge, the L11-2 Dragon Flamethrower, and then the Splitter.
Damn.
What's this in like? What's that in
Ooh,
like
a
New Game
flamethrower would
Plus?
have been really useful.
There are more weapons.
Yeah, on the
Oh,
second
shit.
playthrough, you get more.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
Well, that's good to
Yeah,
know.
I would have loved a flamethrower for the. I had the grenade that kind of
I
burst into
love that
flames in that
grenade,
area.
the
That was a great
airfield
grenade.
Oh fuck! When
Yeah,
I had those were the greatest thing in the world. I saved them for special occasions. Yeah, you
but
throw it
when
in there,
those,
the green cloud of gas comes out and then ignites and it kills everybody. Fuck yeah!
Oh,
yeah,
those were just
but
room clearers. I just toss those
but I
through a
wish I
window and
had.
duck.
Yeah, I wish I'd had like a flamethrower, at least like a secondary weapon function that had a flamethrower for those stupid little fucking bugs that would always like swarm you. Those
That's what the
there were
bullseye
like
was
two
good for.
versions.
That's
Bullseye
true.
or the
It
shotgun.
was.
Yeah.
It was, but there was always one little fucker that like got around and like would end up behind you somehow. It's just like,
Little
God damn it.
face hugger bastards.
The hedgehog grenade is my second favorite weapon of the entire game.
Oh,
The one
that
that
was
has the
those
so
were
spikes
cool
that
good.
come
too.
out and then it's like
Yep.
shoots everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh god,
Yeah.
that one's so satisfying.
Because it always felt so good when you like got that exactly where you needed it in like a crowd of Chimera, and you just see it
Oh,
rise
yeah.
up, and you're just like, haha, you're all fucked now. And
Oh, I
not
know
so
I
much
told-
fun when I was on the receiving end of it, but
yeah, of course those traps, right?
yeah,
Fuck them. Find a tree and hide.
yeah.
It was at least kind of telegraphed later on when those you could see the mines were so obvious, like you could see them on the ground. So it's
Yeah.
like you could see that there's like a thing on the ground and then also like a half wall. It's like, oh, okay. So it's like you'd approach it and then quick duck behind the half wall, rinse and repeat. The mines that sucked were those ones that
You had to
did
guess.
damage
Oh,
like
the ring?
on a plane, yeah, like shot
Yeah.
a ring
Yeah.
out, and it's like you either had to duck or jump, and it
I
was
would
like one or the other.
always
There
get
was
it
one
wrong.
section, yeah, there was one section where there were clusters of them, and I was just kept getting it wrong. I was so pissed.
Is that the when you're? I can't remember where you are, but it's just that massive battle outside of the human base. And
Uh-huh.
there was that literally just like an alley leading to a building
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
There was fucking nothing in the building.
There was nothing in there. I thought I needed to go there and maybe at least pick up like there were like these
Intel.
those little intel
Yeah.
dossiers, and
I was
those
like,
were
it
really
had to
helpful.
be. It had to be here somewhere.
But there wasn't. I was like, what the fuck?
I died
Actually,
so many times to find nothing.
Yeah, me too. There was like a box of shotgun shells, which are useful, but still, I was like, not worth risking life and limb for a box of shotgun shells.
I don't
No.
know. I found no problem finding ammo in this game or health.
No, that was all over. Yeah,
and
it
then
was very generous.
half the time, like you expend your ammo there and you take a few health bar hits, and then all you had to do is go backtrack because the enemy wouldn't chase you, and you just restock.
yes, and
Again,
they didn't
that-
regenerate either, which is great.
I
Yeah,
did
that
like
is-
that regeneration. I mean, it's kind of neat that because you've basically got what 4 or 5 bars on your health, and you know if you lose just a piece of one bar and get out of dodge, like that will regenerate. If you lose the whole bar, then you're on to the next one down, and you know
Right.
you can only regenerate that by actually picking up those glowing little health kits. But they were everywhere. Like it was so
Yeah.
generous.
Yeah,
and every
I
time
liked
you were in
that,
a big battle, there would be like 100 of them sitting on the ground.
Yeah. Stark contrast from the start of the game, eh?
exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
most
that's
of
what I'm
deaths
saying,
I
like-
had in this game were falling down like a gap or a hole.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I got killed a few times. It's just, but the thing is you know, you could kind of work that into your strategy if you're kind of keeping an eye on your health bar and you see that you're getting close to expending your full quarter, you know, one of your quarters of health, you can kind of back off a little bit
Yeah.
and let it replenish before you try to reapproach it. So I was doing that a lot. That was helpful.
I think most of my deaths in this game came from that one section where all the stalkers are coming and you're hiding in the bombed out buildings, and you deal with all of those stalkers again. I think, was it London? It might have been in London. Yeah, could have been the city outskirts, but yeah, you're literally in these bombed out buildings, and there are like two or
Yeah.
three stalkers that come along that you've got to deal with. And once you've taken care of those, then one of those, it kind of looks like a stalker, but an organic one, if you know what I mean. It's just like that
Yeah.
weird squid thing that kind of walks around and fires out, because every enemy has the equivalent weapons to what you've got. And you get that weird one that shoots out the basically big squidgy balls which act as mines, I guess, and that
That
thing
was
would
a
just kill
cool.
me all the time.
It took a while to get the hang of that. What was that weapon called where you could like shoot the little goop out of it and then it would
Oh,
detonate?
I can't hang on. I'm going to look it up because I've got it.
oh,
I've
it's
got it
the
here.
XR003 Sapper.
Sapper, yeah.
The sapper, yeah. Actually, though, that was really useful towards the end of the game when you're in that Chimera base, and there was tons of those like stupid fucking egg sacs everywhere. I
Oh
would just
yeah.
spread a bunch of that stuff all over the place, like butter on bread,
Oh,
and then I would
Here we go.
and then I would no, and then I
sandwich.
would approach. I would make sure there was a path for me, and then I would just approach the eggs. And as soon as they started cracking out of the eggs, I would just back up quick, and then they would all run into the goop and then die.
I'll be honest, like when I first got that weapon, I tried it and it basically just jizzes out in front of you in a very
Yeah, it doesn't
like,
really go far.
just a kind of like a
Yeah.
wet part. And I was like, well, that's fucking useless. But when I found out how actually useful it can be, just lay a whole bunch of them around an enemy that you know is going to charge you, and then just hide, and they would just walk into that, and
Yep.
and literally just every single one of them would go. I was like, okay, I get this weapon now. And I think the game did a really good job, because most of the time playing first person shooters, there's usually a weapon that I'm just like, well, this is just shit, and I'm not using that. But every single weapon in this game, like, I had a good time with. They were all
But that,
useful, and I used them all
yeah,
equally.
but that's the beauty of the weapons in this game is they all have their purpose.
Yeah,
That it basically picks up the weakness of another weapon. Like you got the carbon,
that's
which
true.
shoots straighter than the bullseye, but then you got the far eye, which can single shot in a long distance. I mean,
And the
that's the
carbine
beauty
has
of the
the
weapons in this
grenades
game.
you can fire out as well. The carbine did,
Yeah.
which is
The
very useful.
hailstorm,
For every
the
occasion.
one you shoot the particles that bounce off the wall there, you shoot secondary fire one of those into the room, and it just basically clears it out for you.
Yeah,
Oh shit. I didn't use that second. I will say some of the secondary functions were a little they were cool in theory, but then some of them were kind of clunky to use because they actually do use all of the shoulder buttons in a way that was a little it was weird because I would hit the wrong button a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I remapped my controller.
Well, because as far
Yeah,
as I could
that's
tell,
true. I should've
none
done
of the
that.
shoulder buttons were iron sights, and that's where, because that was on like R3, I think, where you got
Yeah.
to zoom in, and that was where, especially with the carbine, I was using most of my grenades up because I was trying to look for I was trying to look down my rifle, and I was just like, well, guess I've just dropped a grenade at my feet. Ho hum.
Yeah, I killed myself a few times on accident by like accidentally throwing a grenade straight down, or like accidentally the carbine rifle had like that launcher, and I would just accidentally like launch one into the wall in front of me or something
Yep.
stupid.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah,
If we're
100%.
going to go with the most useless secondary fire function, I'm going to call the bullseye because I
Yes,
did
I
not
hated
like
that one.
using that. It just targets all your shots at one spot, and if you accidentally hit the railing on an overpass or like a scaffolding or whatever they're on top of, it'll aim all your bullets and it'll stop where the little target is. So you can't actually hit anything, and then you have to. I didn't know how to end the tag, so I had to switch back and forth between weapons in order to reset it, just so I can continue using the bullseye.
I will go
Yeah,
a step further than that and say you don't even need to accidentally hit something that's not an enemy. You can hit an enemy, but there are so many of them around. What is the point of having a gun that's only aiming at one of them? Because
Right,
you need to
exactly.
switch enemies on the fly all the time.
Yeah.
I can only think of a use for it as firing a long distance away before an enemy notices you, and then using it to shoot that one enemy.
I
mean, I
guess, but
guess.
still, like,
Why not use a sniper rifle?
Yeah, exactly.
well, yeah, and you don't get the sniper until later, but still, like, the whole point of that they call it the bullseye, and it was anything but, because really what I was using it for was like getting into a group and being able to hit multiple enemies at once, because those bullets are going fucking everywhere.
No, it's called a bullseye because when the Chimera shoot a volley at you, one always hits you no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
no shit.
true,
Oh my
mate.
god. And some of the enemy AI was frustrating and took some getting used to, because you would like, it's like you would turn a corner and they already had like a clip emptied. So it's like you're just stepping into bullets that were already in the air.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
They do
You couldn't
not
have known I
fuck
was
about.
there.
They do not fuck about at all. But I did use the bullseye probably more than most other rifles. I don't know why.
Because
something
you
about
get
it
the
was
most ammo
satisfying.
for it. Like
That's-
every time
yeah,
you
you
kill
gotta-
the Chimera, you reload up on the bullseye, where
Yeah.
That's
you can go
probably what it was.
yeah,
You're
you can
right.
go stints with the other weapons and just have no ammo left over, and then finally when you get some, like you find a cache of ammo somewhere in the room and it'll fill you up, and then you'll never run out of those ammos again for the rest of the level.
Yeah, that's
Right.
fair. That's probably what
I'm-
it was.
I'm glad they didn't do this. But I was always like, when you're actually in Chimera bases or whatever, like, why are there boxes of carbine bullets just you know
Well,
what
to
I
be
mean?
fair,
Like,
most of them have dead soldiers, British
Yeah,
soldiers,
true.
all over
but
the place.
sometimes there's just boxes of bullets everywhere. It's like, what are those doing here?
It's the same guy who's lighting all the torches in Tomb Raider.
yeah,
exactly. I mean,
He's
it's
pulling double
yeah,
duty. That's
I
all.
love that.
Shh, that's my game idea.
I know, and it's an awesome idea. So
Then why are you guys selling it to people who
Incorporate-
can make it before I can?
It's
you mentioned it.
copyright Retrotopia.
yeah, exactly.
Retrotopia.
Pending.
You guys are going to profit off my idea now? Fuck you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're like the soldiers from Nathan, get over here.
Yeah, fuck you.
What did you guys think
yeah.
of Nathan as a main character?
No personality,
He's
but
nothing. Yeah.
yeah. They
thing is-
really tried to make you Nathan Hale, and I think they kind of failed spectacularly on that one, because they did it from two perspectives. One where he was a silent protagonist, and the other one where he was talking. And
I was literally about to say the exact same thing. It's like they couldn't quite decide if he's silent or if he's
Mhm.
chatty. That bullseye, Brian. That's exactly what I was driving at.
Bullseye means he missed the point.
Yeah.
No, but going back to that, the exposition done by the narrator in between levels didn't really fill in a lot about Nathan Hale himself. It talked a lot about the
No.
Chimeras and the fact that she suspected that Nathan was infected by the Chimera disease because of his yellow eyes and stuff like that. But there really was not great character development in this one for the protagonist.
I completely agree. That's, again, something I wanted to bring up because, you quite obviously get infected. And I guess Nathan Hale is resistant to the virus. I guess, haha, there's the title. But
It's because of the American healthcare system.
It's a double entendre, because
It's a
it's
double
you are
entendre.
the resistance and he has resistance.
he is resistant. Yeah.
Oh.
But they don't
my.
they don't really go anywhere with it. And
No.
I'm speaking as somebody who's not played the second and third game. I've got them, and I absolutely will. And maybe this is something that has gone into in more depth. But I kind of feel like you get through this whole game, and it's kind of like, yeah, this guy is obviously, I guess slowly turning into a chimera. But we're not actually going to pay that off at all. It's just, he's got powers. Deal with it. But there's no repercussions or anything like that. So I don't. Just kind of leaves it up in the air, which is a ballsy move because I guess maybe they figured they were just going to deal with that in a later game.
Which is, a very ballsy move, because if this game didn't land, I mean, obviously they wouldn't have greenlit a second and a third game. I don't know. Like, you want the first game really to set up the universe and the character. Like, at the end of Halo, everybody loved and knew Master Chief. So,
Yeah.
I still don't even know who Nathan Hale really is.
No.
Yeah, and does he appear in the remaining game? Like, I'll say it. I'd be interested in playing Resistance 2 and 3.
All day
is
long.
he
He does.
the main
There's-
character?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see him on the cover of 2 at least, but Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this might be a nothing gripe because it might be something that they go
I
into.
don't know. I think it's a valid gripe because obviously, like I made my point already about why it's a valid gripe.
Yeah,
Now,
it's just I would
first
have
game,
liked to have
yeah.
seen more about what was actually happening to him.
I know what also this game was lacking was a central villain. I know the Chimera is like the bad guy, and you kind of blow up the big Chimera antenna there, that which is what your last boss is, but it really didn't have a focal point. They talked about these angels all the time, and I was like, well, it's obviously you're going to be fighting the
Oh,
angels as the final boss, but it
Yeah, I
never
never
paid
thought
off.
that.
well, I mean,
Nope.
Yeah.
you do fight like 2 or 3 angels on the
Oh, I
way
do,
to
but
the final.
you
What
don't
were they
fight them
though? Like,
as the final boss.
No, it's true.
yeah, there was a mission that was it was called Angel, and they identified these so-called angels that are kind of the like if you're playing StarCraft, like the Zerg overlords or whatever, like basically they are kind of control towers
The
for
generals, yeah.
multiple. Yeah. Um, but it's like you play through this level Angel, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm up for like some sort of a boss fight, and they just resolve it in a cutscene. Like,
I
and
thought
not
Oh
even
that
a
as
yeah.
cutscene, it
well.
was just still images. I was like, what the fuck? Don't I get to fight it?
I was definitely thinking that because they made a big deal
Yeah.
about what was inside that tank. And, you know,
Yeah.
the Chimera are going to every extreme to try and get this tank back. And I'm just like, oh, the tank is opening. Here we go. And then it's
Yeah.
just resolved in the cutscene. And they kind of do that thing, I guess, that Brian hates, except without the boss fight. It's just like, you know, this was a big deal earlier on the game, and now it's just kind of just a secondary
No, it
enemy.
was not worth the payoff because they really, at that point in the game, they're really bringing it up. Like, we have to hide this from Nathan because this thing could possibly control him. Then he sees it, and like Sam says, cutscene blows its head off, and it's like, what the fuck?
Mm.
It's like,
Right.
so I thought maybe this would pay out later on in the game. You kill one, but there has to be more, and you're going to go find, the angel nest or something like that, and you have to kill the archangel. And really, that's what I really believe that would happen in the game. But again, it turned into a nothing burger, and you go to this antenna. It's like if you destroy the antenna, all the Chimera will die. And it's like, isn't that what's supposed to happen if you kill the angels?
I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't have necessarily a problem with how the game ends. You know,
Oh,
that last mission is hard as fuck, but I'm just like, okay, there is a central thing I need to concentrate on. There are waves and waves of enemies that I need to destroy. And, it is fun, but I'm 50-50. Like, on one hand, yeah, I mean, a central villain might have worked. Maybe something like a General Rum from Gears of War, which I
no,
do think this
I'm
game
not
is
even
a lot like.
I'm not
Um,
even talking an antagonist, a singular antagonist, but something more than introducing like the be all of the Chimera and it turning into you blowing up a building, basically. But I'm talking story wise only. I'm not actually talking about the gameplay of the last level because I agree
no,
with you. It was really good.
I get that. I get that. And I do at least in part agree with you there. I mean, it would have been interesting to see. And again, I don't know what's in number 2 and 3. Maybe there is like maybe this is like the first wave of like grunts, but then in 2 and 3 you have to fight some your Queen Mira sort of character. Maybe that's something lurking in the background of these games. I've no idea. So I'm gonna hold judgment on that until I've played all
Yeah.
of them. But it is valid.
No, I see where you're coming on from on that one, but I really shouldn't have to play the second game to get the rest of the story for the first game unless it's literally called something like Part 2. And in which case, there should be a nice little cliffhanger making me want to run out and buy Part 2 right away.
Well, there is the sort of
That's
mystery of
fair.
where Nathan Hale was picked up
I
at the
get
end of
that
the game,
again.
and
It adds a little bit of flair and a little bit
just
of
a little bit.
mystery about it. But the story kind of ended with all the Chimera dying because that's what they said happened. Now I assume there's going to be more of these antennas around the world because it just London is a great place to visit, but you don't build all your antennas there.
That's true. Please
You
and
just
thank
build
you.
one big one.
Just
Yes.
one big one. And that's another thing. I mean, all joking aside, there are two things that I really appreciated about this game, going slightly off topic, is that it was set in Britain. I'm just
Yep.
like, okay, that's cool. That's kind of not a place that's usually in video
Yeah,
games. You know,
that's fun.
it is rare. I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. All right, it's been decimated, and some of these places I know and have been to. Um, you know, London, they completely ruined London, and you know, I was looking forward to going back there at some point. And the fact that it was set like it wasn't a modern day story. I appreciate the fact that it was set back, as you say, in the 50s. I just think that gave it a little extra flavor.
I love this statement. Alan says there's barely any video games that take place in London,
Oh,
England.
no.
So I looked it up, and it says there's
Oh, here
only
he goes.
approximately 260 video games explicitly tracked in major database categories featuring London, England as a setting.
Okay, now compare that with like games set in the US.
Okay, Ottawa, Ontario.
Oh, Ontario.
Any video games take place here?
It's pretty much just
Google's
South
just going to
Park.
say no.
No, there is no official or exact count of video games taking place in Ottawa, Ontario.
Well,
But New York City is going to be like 800,000 video
Yeah.
games and movies. Yeah. No, I get it.
now I did say Britain as a whole, rather than you're just comparing it with them. But there's got to be some games set in Canada.
Oh yeah, there's games set in Canada. The fictional island of Bear Island in the Long Dark.
There you go.
The Celeste apparently takes place in BC. What else is there? Games that take place in Canada.
While we're off the subject,
Yes. The Long Dark, Assassin's Creed Rogue has a spot. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Yeah, that's just
you
to
go.
name a few. There are a couple of games that do.
there you go. It's just nice, you know. You just get a bit of a pop when it's somewhere that you know that's getting destroyed by an alien menace.
I don't know. I think
Yeah.
I think I like the fact that it actually. I would imagine there is some stuff like you're on the Tower Bridge when you're in London, so I've actually like walked across that.
I know.
So yeah, it's kind of neat.
Yeah, and we fucking destroyed it. Just like, you know what? That's one off my bucket list.
Well, you know why? You know why I think England is the perfect, or the UK as a whole is a perfect kind of setting for this. Is like, yeah, you want to convey that they've taken over all of Europe, but you also want kind of like a tight setting. You know, like it's on an island. It's an island, so like you basically can bop around this island, and you get the landmarks, and you get the well known places and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
you don't have to go all over the place. You know
It
what
kind
I mean?
of does impart a sense of almost claustrophobia when you think that everything
too.
around Britain is you're basically surrounded. And
This is the
now,
last stand.
exactly. And you know, yeah, it is a relatively small place, so there is scope for popping to a lot of different cities and it making sense.
Yeah.
And then hopping underground,
No,
which
speaking of the claustrophobia, the horror aspect of the underground tunnels or inside of the bunkers and stuff like that, I like the kind of shift they did.
oh yeah, I love
Like-
those underground sections.
Yeah,
Like, get me in some tunnels with a shotgun, and I'm having a good time.
Yeah, and some of the sound there, like you had that sharp, I don't know what instrument it is, but does like that ring
Oh,
every so often just to like raise your
Oh,
blood
yeah.
pressure a little bit.
well, that creeped me out. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did do that when something off in the distance kind of crossed your field of vision. And I was
Yeah.
like, just-
There were some
it
jump
took
scare
It took me
moments.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah, it took me back a little bit. I was like, wait, did it just do that? Because I wasn't really getting a horror game vibe from this.
Oh, I tell
Yeah,
you
but-
what. I tell you what fucked me up was I don't know what they're called. I called them the Slender Men, and they would
Oh,
always
yeah.
come charging around a
creepy.
corner, and you just turn around, and there was one up in your face, and it's just like fucking hell. I was
Yeah.
not prepared for that.
Yeah, that thing was weird. And then, what was I gonna say? Shit. Oh, as far as like darkness, I was getting really irritated because I was like, why is this game so fucking dark? And then I realized that I could turn on a flashlight.
And the flashlight lasts forever. It's not one of those things that has a battery life of 20 seconds.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa!
I liked that.
That was a
It's not
flashlight.
particularly- Yeah,
Yes, you
if
hit right on the D-pad.
Yep.
Oh no way!
You
I just-
start a level with the flashlight on.
I just closed the curtains. And-
Well, I also
I thought it was
didn't
the
know
sun
how to turn
fucking
it.
up my screen.
It,
Oh,
either I missed it or I wasn't sure, but I didn't know how to turn it off and on, and that was a problem because there was one point where I had to fight this fucking one of those like basically dog creatures in like pure darkness. I
oh
was like,
yeah,
what the
those
fuck?
things.
I can't see anything. I don't know where this thing is. The only thing that would happen is the little crosshair would turn red, and then I would know when to shoot.
Good enough.
It works.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Oh man, I told you guys about this in the Discord when it happened as well. One of the things I really liked about the game was I was in one of the earlier missions just after you get your Chimera power, and you're in that like bus depot area, and
Hmm.
I was taking shots at one of the Chimera, and I hit the hose on his back, and it popped off, and I was like, "Oh my god!" It's like, was that an accident or does that actually happen? So after firing another 2 clips towards the same guy trying to shoot a second hose off, I actually popped the second hose off. I thought that was just like a nice little touch because those hoses are supposed to be like a cooling system to cool their bodies down.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
I don't know if it had any effect because I didn't actually pay that much attention to it, but I thought it was neat that you could actually like clip off one of the hoses.
I feel like it
Yeah.
must have done because the Chimera are very. I mean, they're hardly bullet sponges necessarily, but they have that.
No, because none of the bullets hit them.
Well, they have that animation like they will go down and then get back up, and basically they're
They'll
healing
flip.
themselves same as you. I
Yeah.
wonder if hitting that has any effect on their ability to heal themselves. I don't know.
Maybe it's something to
Well,
look up.
That'd be cool.
something else that was kind of cool. There was like basically I called him the cave troll. Yeah, cave troll. But there was it was basically just like the big giant chimera.
Yeah,
And um it would take a ton of hits, but then you would know that it was dying because it would start to like those like canisters on its back would start to overheat, and
yep.
you would, and that's how you would know that it was dying, and that was kind of cool. So it would
And I
overheat and
think you could
explode.
hit those canisters to do extra damage.
Yeah, yeah.
That would make
Although
sense.
something that this game was missing was like a kind of critical hit point type thing, because if
It,
you are, or if those little canisters are critical, like it wasn't giving you any sort of feedback like you were actually
yeah.
doing more damage.
Now, it did have kind of a critical hit thing on the regular enemies because if you hit center of mass, they absorbed your shots for quite a bit of time. But if you
Hmm.
picked them off in the head, then it would
Yeah,
actually take them down fairly quickly.
I found the headshot.
Uh,
Oh my god, the headshots with the sniper rifle. The sniper rifle was so much fun in this game.
Oh,
Like,
especially with its slowdown mechanic.
oh, just being able to slow that down, just take your time and just pop in heads. And some of my like most satisfying shots with the sniper rifle, just picking them off one by one. And I love it. I love a good sniper rifle.
yep. Especially when they would take up those like kind of fixed guns, and then it's like, oh no, they're on a gun emplacement, I'm in trouble. But if you could kind of get ahead of it and pop them one, it was it was pretty satisfying, because they wouldn't always, even if there were other chimera around, they wouldn't necessarily jump on that gun.
No,
So
that's
you
true.
could just kind of neutralize that threat.
Now, did anybody find any of those turret guns that you could use? Because you could actually like use them, but they're all obviously pointed towards the humans, and there was
Right.
no situation where jumping behind one of those was actually useful.
No, they were
No,
always
I
behind
never
me.
used it. No, they were always pointed in the wrong direction.
That's
Yeah.
that's a miss on the game because it would have been nice if you
Yeah.
could pop into one of those, spin it around, and give a little get to the bad guys. Just because you can't move, so it's obviously limited in your use.
Yeah, that'd be super fun if you could,
But you can't because why would
but you
you?
can't.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
no,
kind of
it's
had that itch scratched by the stalkers that you could take over. I think it only happens like once or twice in the game, but you actually
Yeah,
get
in
the
the later
ability.
half.
Yeah, you get the ability to ride in the Chimeran stalkers, and if you just park yourself partially behind a wall and just pop up into the turret there, that was fun.
yeah, but there was one mission specifically where you get into one of those stalkers and you get to kind of, I was like, oh sweet, we get to fuck around with this for a while. And it's like you clear one screen of enemies and that was the mission.
That was so
Yeah.
short. That was
I was like, what
so
So
the
many
short.
Why was
times. I didn't even know missions were going to end so many times because you'd be running and you enter a room and there's
Right.
nothing in the room, but it doesn't end the mission until you get to the other side.
It would just kind of fade out. And it was like, shit, I would have gone into other rooms to see if there were other
Yeah.
like ammo or items or something, but
Oh,
okay.
and something else
Whatever.
that annoyed me about this game, and it's a minor, not even important at all gripe. But when the mission started, it would do this little cutscene where Nathan would be walking around and he'd walk over like an ammo box or something and restock you, but you had no control over him and you just wanted to get on with it. But it always felt like it took way too long. And then there was one where you're underground, you had to start the power on the underground bunker. And as soon as the
Hmm.
mission starts, you get ambushed from the left by a couple of Chimera.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
There were ones
I
there that you
agree.
came in hot.
Those little cutscenes were a little bit long. Although that being said, like talking about the missions, like I really liked the fact that they were quite short. You know, it never had time to get boring, right?
True. And you could always jump in, like if you only have like 30 minutes to play or whatever, you could jump in and probably finish a mission or two depending on where
And
you're at in the game.
that's
It
how I
does
was
get
doing it,
harder, but
just in chunks.
yeah, me too.
Oh, like don't get me wrong. It's like some of the levels later on in the game, they were taking. There was this one in particular. Just I can't remember. You just kind of underground, and there was like a lecture hall or something. And
Oh yeah.
oh, that took me so many tries to get through because in some places the checkpoints are okay, but I think the checkpoints in this game can be pretty brutal. So
Yeah.
I would get
Yeah.
well past that room on my like 50th attempt and then get a little bit further along a few corridors and then die there and have to go back and start that room all over again. And my God,
There's a
Or
couple
I
of
would
times where
find
I just said fuck it and turned the game off.
I can
yeah, me
understand it.
too.
I can
But
understand
there
it.
were there was a point where like I was getting to this point and I kept dying and then having to like replay almost the whole level and getting kind of pissed off. And then finally when I passed that point where I was dying, it was like the very next room that I walked into was the end of the level. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I
Yeah.
That
was almost to the end this whole time and I had to keep replaying it.
that
Oh.
sounds very familiar.
Yeah, so this game does not allow like kind of a what a lot of shooters did, even like PC games, like if you play like a Duke Nukem or something, you can save pretty much wherever you want. You cannot do that in this game. When you reboot your save, if you save and quit, you will reboot at the beginning of whatever the level you were on, even if you
Yeah.
hit a checkpoint, I believe. So there
Which
wasn't really any save stating or anything like that.
Which again, you know, short levels, I didn't mind that so much, but
Right.
some of the checkpoints did have me close to tearing my hair out, especially in the late game. But again, I'm not gonna knock it for that. It's just I needed to get good. But
It was a good difficulty, not spike, but kind of like a gentle slope upwards in difficulty. Because I found like after you got the Chimera powers, the game became a little bit like almost too easy.
yeah,
And then once I fixed my controls, it became way too easy. But from there, it just progressively got harder. You got a mixture of harder enemies. And then as you progress, those harder enemies would become more predominant and the weaker ones would kind of fade off and disappear, or they'd come at you in larger numbers.
yeah.
Right.
And it was
You'd be
just
like
nice.
these little critters are gonna crawl at you in mass, but also we're gonna be shooting at you. It's just like, oh fuck.
And
Yeah,
then
I
you get
did
a
find my
tank.
I did yeah, I did find myself by the end of the game like I was fully in command of the controls at this point and I'd learned all the little tricks and all of the different enemies like behaviors and whatnot. So I think the game did an excellent job of basically teaching you about the game as you play it. It was very organic. So yeah, it
Yeah.
got harder, but at no point did I feel like unequipped or ill-equipped rather to take on whatever's being thrown at me. I just needed to like pay attention.
Yeah.
Good fucking time.
Yeah, I
So
did.
good.
I think I liked more the levels where you're kind of going room to room and fighting enemies. Just kind of like it does mix up a lot of different kind of game styles where like yeah, you're in like a hospital or a laboratory at one point and you're in like a various bases and kind of going hallway to hallway, room to room and that was I think I liked that style better, but then there were also parts where you're like in the open on a battlefield exposed if you go in certain places and stuff like that, and getting swarmed, or working with allies, which I just kind of did see something in the manual. Apparently there was a way that, like, if you helped your allies and kept them alive, you were rewarded for it, or you could get like skill points or something. I wasn't 100% sure how it worked, but I don't think that was necessarily very well developed, but it was there, I guess.
Yeah, I recall seeing skill points popping up every so often for.
I didn't know what to do with them. It just was like, oh,
I think
cool.
it just unlocks
There were
like
skill
stuff.
points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just every once in a while they'd pop up, and if you went into the menu, I think they kind of unlocks like artwork and shit like that.
Yeah.
Nothing really drastic. And it was an early PS3 game as well, so there were no achievements for this
Oh.
game. So I found that quite freeing. I could just play the game however I wanted. But
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I liked the style of the close quarters and the corridors and what have you. But I've got to say, like, around about Manchester is where the game really clicked for me, and it's just being outside with all of the other soldiers and just explosions happening everywhere, and it felt like a full-blown war. It was really well done, and that's at that point I was just like, I am really enjoying this game. Like, this is epic.
Yeah.
It was.
It did do pretty well to scale up when you went, outdoors, or like into, through some, maybe through some streets and then into a field or something like that.
Mm.
Well, I like how it didn't just do the same thing every level. Like the variations in the close quarters to the open field kind of kept you interested, focused,
Yeah,
because you weren't just bored of the tedium of the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
agreed.
I think I would go through areas, especially some of the indoor areas, like especially that first London area where you're kind of going through that. I don't know if it's like not a train station, but it's almost like a mall. And I was like, man, this would be a really cool multiplayer level. And obviously we didn't play the multiplayer, but
Servers are shut down.
well, yeah, that too. But like, if this was a Halo killer, like, they really needed to come up with some way to make it a Halo killer. I guess it wasn't, but I would think multiplayer in this game would have been kind of fun, but it's dead now.
I don't know. I would have dabbled with multiplayer, then I would have been killed instantly and swore a bunch and turned it off.
It'd be 32 consecutive players missing every shot.
Yeah. Oh, maybe
Just
I'd have done
bullets
all right.
everywhere but on target.
Maybe that's the one that I could have done okay on. Fuck, I missed my window. I could have been the best resistance multiplayer in the world. Well.
Yeah, what if we each have some weird game that we would have been just like an absolute phenom at that we just never played? Or we
Sonic?
just haven't found it. Sonic. Brian's actually the best Sonic player in the world. Oh man.
I'd buy it.
Well, I don't know. And music wise, I mean, what do you think? I don't know. I always feel
It's
like we just kind of like
serviceable. It has the military marching drums. That's all I can
Yes,
tell
I
you.
was just about to say, like, dun dun dun, dun,
It's
like the
very sort of
fine.
time appropriate. It's just kind of like, it was good, and it was used well in sort of both its presence and its absence, because they knew when you needed to be just gung-ho. They knew when they wanted it to be a bit more tense, and the music cues are really good for both of those. But I mean, nothing stood out, but everything just kind of worked.
Yeah, not putting on the soundtrack.
No.
As we say.
No, but it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes I feel like we just kind of like shoehorn in sound when the sound is just kind of like there and serviceable and fine, but whatever. It's fine.
You got to talk about it.
You got to.
We have to.
We talk about all
We're
the
contractually
facets.
obligated.
Absolutely. We miss nothing here at Retrotopia. And if you find
That's
something
right.
we missed, you're wrong.
Well, do you guys have anything else to say on this game?
Nothing
Should we
specific.
I
No.
get into our
I think I'm good.
thoughts? Let's see. I guess I have to go last because I am leading the discussion.
You're
such as it
leading the
is.
discussion. You could go
I'm
first
doing
if
really-
you want.
I'm doing really poorly. um, yeah, you know what? I will go first. Fuck you guys.
All right.
um, yeah, I'm really kind of glad I stuck with this because if we're just going off of the first level, I would have been like, fuck this game. I hate it. It sucks. No one should ever play it. I'm glad it's dead. But um, this is, shooters are one of those genres that if you were to say like, hey, what's your favorite genre? I'd be like, not shooters. And then every time I play one though, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like that game. Um, so I had a good time with it. It's definitely a first in a series. It has that kind of feel to it where like, the story feels a little rushed. There's not a lot of development like we talked about with Nathan Hale. He's just kind of a generic dude, um, who doesn't really say much or grow at all as a character. He grows as a weird hybrid dude, but that's about it. Um, it kind of feels sometimes like it's the story's a weird dated Cold War holdover excuse to just like shoot a bunch of mutants, and that's fine. Um, the gameplay takes some getting used to. So if you ever play this, Brian, you mentioned you remap the controls and change some of the sensitivity settings. That's probably the way to go. I just kind of like forced myself through it and then eventually got used to the controls and the sensitivity and ended up having a pretty good time with it. It does get challenging. I played it on the regular normal difficulty. I didn't back it off to easy or pump it up to hard. It would have been impossible to get used to. But yeah, I like that the levels are short chunks and then you have these kind of like story elements throughout. One thing I did have to do is I popped the subtitles on in the menu so that I could just kind of make sure I was following along with it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known what was going on. Um, but yeah, cool weapons. Uh, it does the thing with the secondary whatever function of the weapon, but sometimes it didn't always work. Sometimes they felt a little forced. Like we mentioned, the bullseye kind of sucked. Like I don't think that needed to be the secondary function of that particular gun. It was just kind of dumb. But anyways, I'm glad they tried and maybe they're better in 2 and 3. Who knows? I didn't end up finishing it. I got really close, but I don't know. I just ran out of time but I do intend to go back. I'm like 0 for 3 right now on PlayStation 3 games that we've played that are basically locked on the PS3 and I've not finished them. So I will go back and finish this one. I'm kind of interested to see how it plays out. And I would be interested to pick up Resistance 2 or 3 if I see them at my shop. So good little game. I think there's a lot of room to go up, a lot of room for improvement. So I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's just a solid game. It's a good shooter. I can see why it probably didn't beat out Halo and kind of died on the vine, but I also think it kind of sucks that it didn't get anything past. I think like the last release was like a PS Vita game in 2012. So yeah, there's like Resistance 1, 2, and 3, and then a PSP game and a PS Vita game. It's just kind of crazy that this game comes out in 2007 and within the decade, like the series is done. So that's a bummer. But if you have a PS3 laying around and you find a copy of this, it's cheap. I'd say go for it.
Nice. You have to tell us
Who
who's
wants to go?
next, Sam.
Yeah.
Do I have to tell you? Oh, that's right. I just kind of was like, nah, all right, now I'm done.
I don't know if we're going to
Brian.
let you lead anymore.
Yeah, it's just like I suck at this. Brian, go ahead. You're next.
All right.
Popcorn, Brian.
All right, so Resistance Fall, man, first PS3 game I bought. I got the launch day PS3 Fat Boy, and it screamed like a Banshee back then, and my current Fat Boy launch day one screams like a Banshee now with this game. So I had to take it in small doses because we had the air conditioning off, and it was like 36 degrees outside, so that PlayStation was really feeling it, and I would do it in short stints, which was what makes the short levels really nice. As for the game itself, I've mentioned I don't know who Nathan Hale really is. I didn't develop his character that well. The Chimera is developed fairly well, but they don't really have a central focus. You just literally destroy that one building, and as far as everyone knows, the Chimera are dead. They're obviously not because they're sequels to the game. And of course, it alludes to it at the end of the game. But control wise, I was not having a good time. I don't find the PS3 very good for first person shooters. And I think there's going to be a sizable amount of people that agree with me, because I've heard people say the same thing. You know, they got some great games, but goddamn, that controller just doesn't feel right on this type of game. Remapping the controls helped, change the sensitivity helped. I made it as modern day control scheme as I could, and it seemed to work for me after I retaught myself to go back to the old ways, or I guess the new old ways. So the controls are remappable, and I guess my point of this whole thing is that's a huge positive for the game, because remappable controls were really fairly a new idea back then. The story itself is told in cutscene chunks like it always is. There's not a lot of scenes where Nathan is like the focal point of the cutscene, and when he is, it kind of confuses the, are you taking on the role of Nathan, or are they telling you who he is? And that's kind of one of the places I find they lost direction. The weapons are fun. I like every weapon in the game. There is not one that I don't like, except for maybe the standard grenade, but it killed me a couple of times, so that grenade I have a bit of an issue with, and we'll solve that in the HR office. The rest of the secondary functions we already went over it. I agree with Sam. The bullseye secondary function was absolutely useless, but the gun itself was wonderful in close, tight combat. The sound in the game, I like that they had some good ambiance in the like lower levels, like echoing and stuff like that. The amount of stuff you could blow up in the game was just great for, physics wise. I mean, I'm pretty sure Half-Life 2 came out before this, but this still had some good breakable stuff there. Like you could blow up concrete barriers if you hit it with a grenade, or you could like decimate boxes and chairs and stuff like that. So well done on Sony. Graphically better than Halo in my opinion, and I'll die on that hill. Very, very well textured. I'm not going to say bright and colorful, because it was meant to be kind of dark and foggy. But they did a really good job of representing what London was. I do like the military concept of it, and I'm not a huge fan of military games, so it did really well. I can't think of anything else to say that Sam didn't already say, but I'm going to agree with him. I'm going to go 7 out of 10 on this one.
All right. So I guess
Alan, to you.
Does that just leave
you
me
have
then?
to pass it now.
Okay. I mean, I played this on my PS3 Slim, so there was minimal screaming. I'm going to agree with, and this is the benefit of going last, with lots of what you guys have already said. I mean, Sam, for one, yeah, I agree. A first-person shooter is never going to be my favorite type of video game, but it's always something I'm happy to play, and I always have, well, more or less always have a good time with it. And this was no exception. Like, guys, I really, really enjoyed my time with this game. Obviously, I'd waited a long time to play it, so it's a nice boon that it didn't let me down. And Insomniac's track record is still going strong. Like, I thought it was a capable, very capable first-person shooter. I liked the controls once I got the hang of them. Admittedly, there was a learning curve for that, because I think it's just ingrained to me where there's kind of a standard for where things are on a controller these days for first-person shooters. And this kind of came in at the tail end of the Wild West of FPSs. So, there were some quirks that I needed to learn. But once I got the hang of it, I was away. Like, story-wise, it's enough. It got me intrigued, and it definitely makes me want to play the rest of the games in the series just to see how it goes ahead. I mean, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more development, especially with, what are the Chimera? What is this deal with Nathan Hale? What is going on? But I suppose, in the grand scheme of keep your audience wanting more, they kind of succeeded on that front. I loved all of the weapons in this game. Like, I don't think there was really a dud in the bunch, and it's very rare for me to use every weapon equally in an FPS. So they did a great job of kind of forcing you to mix it up and try different things. And again, that's all down to level design, I think, because as we mentioned, there are so many different styles of gameplay mixed into this that you kind of have to adapt your tactics on the fly. Sometimes you're in corridors, sometimes you're out in the open, sometimes there are vehicle sections, and all of that just creates quite the rich tapestry of video game experiences, which I absolutely loved. Visually, absolutely stunning. Like straight from the off, I found this a gorgeous game to look at. I'm not even going to begrudge it its color palette because it is that sort of drab grays and browns and all of that stuff that was kind of the style at the time. But I think that's just accurate to Britain. That's generally what it looks like here. So I think that's just true to life. Yeah, just I really like Resistance. I'm gonna give it. I think I'll give it an 8. No, fuck it. I'll give it an 8.5. I really had fun playing this game. Frustrating at times, don't get me wrong, but very satisfying to beat. And I'm a fan of this series now, and I will play the next. I've got the PSP one. I've got 2 and 3. I will definitely be getting around to them sooner rather than later.
Nice. Wow, even the PSP one.
Yeah. Do you know what? And I didn't even know I had it. Such is the random and spuriousness of my collecting. It's just shit. I don't even know what I fucking got anymore, but it's up there somewhere.
Well, maybe a quick play.
Ooh,
Yeah.
there's an idea. I'll chuck it on the pile.
Well, there you have it. 7s from Brian and I, and an 8.5 from Alan on Resistance: Fall of Man for the PS3. Well, boys, what have we got next?
I haven't a fucking clue.
Boy.
Yeah, I don't know. Alan, king of the schedules.
It's Wonder Boy 3: The Dragon's Trap.
I started that today, and fuck that game.
Oh,
Well, you
already?
know what? And fuck you too.
It killed me. So,
Well, sometimes they do.
praise.
Sometimes, maybe if you try remapping your controls, you'll have a better time of it.
I'd have to because I don't have a Master System controller, so I have to use my 8-bit dude.
Well, I've got that upstairs for the Master System, and I've been looking forward to getting back into that. So I'll find time for it eventually.
Hopefully next week.
all right. Well,
Hopefully before we record it. Yeah,
hopefully before next week. That's for sure.
I'll figure it out. Sleep is for the weak.
All right. Well, until next time, don't manage to blow yourself up with a grenade, and we'll see you next time.